Welcome to Just Break Up, the podcast about love, heartbreak, and all the relationship advice you don't want to hear. My name is Sierra DeMulder.
And I'm Sam Blackwell. And today we're going to answer a letter from somebody who loves someone who is learning to love himself. But before we begin, we just want to give you our Surgeon General's warning, which is that Sierra and I are not licensed mental health practitioners.
Correct. We are not professionals. We are not trained in any of this. So please take our advice as you see fit. We're only here to offer our humble musings. So we shed some understanding and maybe some laughs about the incredibly rewarding, but mostly confusing experience that is love.
All right, everyone. Our letter today comes from Confused Muse, whose pronouns are she, her, who is writing from the bottom of a Ben & Jerry's ice cream carton, which is the best place to be.
Yo, I just had some like peanut butter Ben & Jerry's ice cream that had like sweet and salty pretzel swirls.
Oh, yeah, that one's really good. Yeah.
And the swirls were like legit like salty, but it was like, man, oh my God, it was so good.
This has just become a Ben & Jerry's appreciation podcast. We just talk about our favorite flavors.
Let's just make an ASMR of me eating that entire carton.
I'm into it. And I think that there are lots of people who on the internet who would also be into that.
Oh, good. I'll send them my feet pictures too while we're at it.
Perfect. All right. Muse writes, thank you for all that you are and do. You remind me that life is coming from me instead of trying to fight me. Haha. And that I am a being filled with love and light that can spread it to others as we all navigate our crazy journeys. My question for you is possibly one that only I can answer, but I'd greatly appreciate the advice regardless. Am I settling? My partner, Jason, he, him, 24 male, and I, she, her, 24 female, have been in a long-distance relationship for 4 years, but I'd first like to address the context that got us here. We originally met in 2017 and dated while I, admittedly, was still getting over a very toxic relationship. Realizing I was in a new happy relationship, my ex at the time convinced me that he had changed and would be everything that I needed and more. I hesitated because Jason had treated me well and cared for me in a way that no one had in the past. However, my naive notions about love questioned why that was the case. Weren't we supposed to fight and make up? Wasn't that what couples do? Wasn't he supposed to comment on my flaws so I could change and improve? Why didn't Jason fight with me? Did he not truly love me? This led me to get back with my ex, who cheated on me several more times before the heartbreak outweighed my drive to offer any more forgiveness.
Don't say anything, Sam. I don't want to hear it.
I have nothing to say.
He's making fun of me because that's what happened to me.
Fast forward a year later, Jason and I decided to give it another shot, but since I moved away for work, we decided to try long distance. We visit each other every couple months and FaceTime or text in between that, and it is so loving and safe. The distance helps me to be bold and create community and a new place without leaning on my partner too. He supported me through some body dysmorphia struggles, which I'm currently in therapy for, and I am in love with the care he puts into understanding my mind, body, and soul. He's also super intelligent, charming, and the most selfless person I know. But that last quality is one that makes me nervous. He's told me that I am his first love, the one that got away before we decided to rekindle this. And he goes above and beyond to make sure that those he cares about feel comfortable in every way, but he doesn't do the same thing for himself. His dad needs some $200, done. A friend is drunk on the other side of town and can't drive home, done. But when it comes to self-care necessities like remembering to eat, setting boundaries with his time, and setting personal goals, he doesn't have the same motivation. If I tell him, I'd really like you to eat 3 meals a day and remember to schedule your appointments, he'll do it, no questions asked, and be so excited to call me and tell me. But when I leave him to these pending goals without the motivation to please me or someone he loves, they usually don't get done. He has a rocky relationship with his family and therefore usually only gets support from myself or friends, but I'm worried that this is becoming more of a crutch than an actual help. The way I express my love to those around me is by cooking for them and spending quality time together. So up until this point, I figured I was just being an amazing girlfriend and showing how committed I am. As we celebrate 4 years together, my family and close friends have chimed in saying he's a great guy and that they know he wouldn't hurt me, but they think I'm settling for someone who is too safe. And I want to retaliate or build him up to prove them wrong, but now I'm filled with so much confusion. The relationship is so good, the best and healthiest I've ever had, but is it truly healthy if he relies on me for the boost he could be giving himself? I love him so much, and it's not like anything major is wrong. He would never cheat on me or disrespect me in any way. He's always trying to do better, and I can see that he wants to. Now I am questioning everything. Is it possible to love someone while they're still trying to love themselves? Am I coping, or worse, am I settling? Thank you for taking the time to read this, and regardless of if it's shared, thank you for building a platform that encourages people to write out and express their most vulnerable questions in a safe environment. Sincerely, Confused Muse.
All right, my darling, Confused Muse.
I know.
Confused Muse.
I said it really slow both times because I knew I was going to
Confused Muse. Thank you so much for writing and for trusting us with this question. I have some like weirdly strong defensive feelings about this.
I love it.
I feel like came out of nowhere for me. But I first just want to say, like, you have pointed out some really good questions, really good concerns in this, and you've also pointed out the exact same clarity or direction that I'm going to give you at the end of this letter, which is Sam and I can comment on this relationship, and your friends and family can comment on this relationship. But the only person who can decide what to do next, or if this relationship is safe for you or unsafe or whatever the hell that means, is you. You know that you are the decider of this. Mm-hmm. And I just want to make sure that you feel capable and confident in your own decision making, and that nobody else in this relationship has the inner knowledge and intuition that you have about it right now. Mm-hmm. So yeah, we are going to give you some advice, some direction, maybe a little bit of ranting, like gentle ranting. What's a gentle rant? I'm going to prance my opinion all over the place.
Oh, okay.
I don't know, man. Let's go to break.
Okay, sounds good. All right, everyone, welcome back. Confused Muse. No wonder you're confused. You have this like great relationship that seems to be going really well for you, that seems fulfilling in lots of good ways, and that also like lets you express love in ways that you like to express love. And then you've got friends looking at that relationship and being like, this is not good for you. This is too safe. Like that's confusing.
Let me prance my opinion. I was like trying to withhold because I had to do like the little intro, and then we had to do a little quick ad break to make that money. You know what I mean? Because this podcast is not free to make.
Yep.
But, there are many instances where I believe listening to your friends and loved ones and family, their experience of your relationship can be really valuable, because oftentimes those loved ones are capable of saying things to you or observing things that you might not necessarily internalize on your own. Like, it would be absolutely very empowering for you to listen to a loved one if you were being gaslit, or if you were being manipulated or abused or anything like that. Like, sometimes in those situations, a loved one's perspective can be really powerful, right? Mm-hmm. But this letter leaves me being like, what are these friends and family? What are they doing? That he's not safe? Like, what do you want to fucking date? Like a stunt man? Like, I don't know what you're looking for in this. Do you know what I mean? And like, that's no offense to stunt people. Like, you're the safest people out there.
Probably. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Because you actually know what the fuck you're doing. Whereas us schmucks over here don't know what we're doing.
Apologies to all the stunt men that listen to this podcast.
And stunt people. Some
yes,
people.
Absolutely.
This is anyway. But like, didn't you feel that? Like, weren't I was like, what are they seeing that we're not seeing in this letter? Like, why are they saying that?
Yeah, no, I mean, to give some like empathy or credit maybe to the friends, like, looking at a person in my life who's in a long distance relationship with somebody who, like might be like really nice, that maybe we don't like quite click with, or we don't know a lot about because he lives so far away, right? Like, I could imagine a place where people like could express some concern about that, right? Like, and like Sierra said, they're not in your relationship. They're not seeing the relationship in the way that you're seeing it. And in fact, like the thing that you told us is like your biggest concern is not that he is like too safe for you to be in a relationship with, right? Like you're telling us that your concern is actually that he doesn't really know how to take care of himself and that you might have to like mother him into taking care of himself, right? Like that is the concern that you're saying to us, not that he's too safe. In fact, you're telling us like he is safe and that is like a good quality about him, right? Like he's safe and he's smart and he's kind and he supports me, right? Like those all seem like really good things. And I think that safety is maybe underrated in a relationship. Like why do we need relationships that are going to like challenge us? Like I think that relationship should be like
topic from Monday. Like,
like right.
What the fuck was I looking for all those years?
No, absolutely. Life is like challenging enough without having to be in a relationship. Yes.
You know what? Let me just say really quickly. I forgot when I was originally going on my original prance, which is the rant light.
Yeah.
That I forgot that they were long distance relationships. So I could see myself on the outside of that relationship, maybe never having been in a long distance relationship.
Yep.
And I could see my little judgments. Like I could see all the work that you have to put in for being in a long distance relationship that long. And maybe I'm saying, oh, you're just staying with him. Like this is me just trying to embody your friends and family right now. Maybe they're assuming that you're with him because he's good, but not great, because he's safe in that, like you guys have a good relationship, but like they don't understand why you're in a long distance relationship that long. But let me just say, as somebody who married somebody that she dated long distance and who has been in multiple fulfilling long distance relationships, despite how many times I was cheated on in them, that's a me issue, not a you issue. I just want to say that, again, going back to the beginning, you know, those people might have those opinions, but they don't have a unique insider knowledge to your relationship. They are only commenting on what they see from the outside. They do not have intimate secret knowledge that you don't have access to. In fact, you are the one with the perspective here. You are the one with the intuition. You are the one here writing to us about how good this person is, right? How good this partner is. And the concerns that you bring up, as Sam said, they're valid, right? I don't want you to mother your grown male partner, right?
Yep.
I don't want you to mother your partner. But also, maybe this person is incredibly generous and struggles with codependency and external motivation. Hello, my name is Sierra DeMulder. That is exactly who I am, right? Uh-huh. And it's possible for that person to learn in a loving and a supportive relationship to break those ties of codependency and to learn how to prioritize themselves. And that wouldn't necessarily make that person unsafe for you, is what I'm trying to say. Like, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Maybe the friends and family are commenting from a place of ignorance in terms of they've never been in a long distance relationship and they just see it as all of this work and they think that you're settling for somebody far away when you could have someone close by. Maybe.
Yeah, perhaps. I don't know.
That's how I could empathize with that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think Sierra's absolutely right that like, I think it's important to be looking out for the dynamic that happens in particularly relationships between cis women and cis men, that like the men or the women mother the men, right? Like they have to be the one to do everything. They have to cook everything. Like you, please make that appointment. Like, please brush your teeth, right? Where it's like, well, no, what's happening here, right?
It's called weaponized incompetence.
Yes, absolutely.
Where the less functioning partner uses that incompetence or the lack of experience or whatever to create a power dynamic in which they're always being taken care of.
And the ways in which society coddles cis men into like not having to actually do anything.
Right. Just or taking like, their emotional prune supplements.
Yes,
or
absolutely. Regardless, I think it's important to be on the lookout for that dynamic because that's a common dynamic. And I certainly, like Sierra said, don't want you to be the mother in this relationship. And you're also telling us that like It seems like he is competent. He is just not intrinsically motivated, which is like fine, right? And we think about motivation as like intrinsically, which is that like something within me motivates me to do a thing, versus extrinsically motivated, which is that like something outside of me motivates to do a thing. So I may not eat lunch today unless somebody tells me to or reminds me to, because I'm just not thinking about it. I don't have like, and both of those types of motivation are neither one is better than the other. We have a lot of opinions about which is better than the other in this world that is like super, super capitalistic and like bootstrapsy. But it's okay for somebody to be like, oh, I do need someone to remind me to eat 3 meals. Or it's helpful when somebody asks me to make the appointment because I will not think about it because I'm doing a bunch of other things or whatever it might be, right? And if you are okay with that role, right? If you are okay with the idea that like cooking for people is a way that I show love, right? Or taking care of people is how I show them that I care about them, then it sounds like that works, right? Like it sounds like that's an okay dynamic for us to have here. If he is somebody that needs a little bit of pushing towards like getting things done for himself, and you are going to be that person in his life to say like, how are you taking care of yourself today? I don't care. Like there are things in my relationship where you could look at them from the outside and be like, that dynamic is unhealthy, but it works in our relationship because we are doing it in a way that works for both of us, right? Like,
yep. I was literally just thinking, Willow, my wife, is the one who will always pay like our doctor bills. You know, when you get a copay bill in the mail, and you can pay online or whatever. I will never do that. I will accrue fees.
Like, that's not for me. I don't know who that's for.
I will move a state. I will move states before I go to an office that I owe money at. Do you know what I mean? Like I just am fucking terrible at paying small copay bills. You know what I mean? I'll just never. I'm so bad at that. There's a reason why I had like my license revoked 20 years ago when I didn't pay my fucking
all your parking tickets. Yeah, that's
real.
I mean?
And will just do that. She just knows that she is more effective at that, and I am ineffective at that. Mm-hmm. And that is, you know, when you were talking, Sam, I was thinking about all of the ways in a healthy, mutually beneficial relationship, especially when you're settled in, you know, when you've been together for a long time, maybe you're living together or whatever, you really do. You're able to explore those pockets of strengths and weaknesses, not even weaknesses, but like, you know, excuse me, styles, values, and how do you complement each other? Where do you take over where the other person maybe will fall back? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Willow is so good at keeping our kitchen clean. You know, I cook for us every night and then she cleans it. And I would just never be that person. My kitchen would never be as clean as she would keep it. And it's so nice. But she also will literally fucking never dust our house. Yeah. Like she will go years without dusting.
That's true.
And that might sound really petty, but for me, I love to dust. I love to do a really good dust because then the house actually feels clean. Mm-hmm. Anyway, this is getting off track.
Also, like as somebody who's really bad at eating lunch, Peter has to help me figure out how to do that. Like,
yeah, that's so good.
He helped come up with the solution that we have so that I will eat lunch because otherwise I will forget.
You're just taking advantage of what a good sandwich maker he is.
Like, no, we like...
My weaponized incompetence is that I'll never pay any bill. Ever, and Willow will pay him for me, and I just never fucking have to deal with it.
My weaponized
That's
incompetence
not what that is, but
is that I have never learned how to put air in my tires because I just don't want to learn.
Cute.
I don't want to learn.
I literally, one time I asked somebody to do it for me because I was like, this scares me. It makes me uncomfortable. And then I had to do it a couple weeks later and I was like, oh, this is fine. But I was like, I don't know how to do this. I'm a damsel. Can you put air in my tire?
I can change a tire. Like I can put a spare tire on, but I just I don't want to deal with that.
This should be a check and type. What are our weaponized incompetence?
Absolutely. If I have to find a quarter to put in the air machine, just kill me. Oh my God. I'd rather die.
Literally, just kill me. The other day, we got takeout, which is like a special treat for us.
I love that.
And we had just gone for like a little bit of a hike and Willow was like in a sports bra. So I had to go in and pick it up. And I ordered it and I went in and picked it up, but I still put Willow's name on the order because it's like just what I do compulsively, because 99% of the time she's the person to go pick it up because I don't like talking to people. I don't like talking to strangers.
I'm absolutely with you on that. I will drive Peter
and she called
to
me
the
out
place
on it, and she's like,
he
why'd
can
you
go
do that?
get
It's
it.
so cute. Yeah. And I was like, because I just assumed you would be going to get it.
But listen,
because I hate it.
she won't bring you a towel, so
No,
there's...
oh my God, I have a new one. I gotta remember it. She literally was like, is this gonna be on the podcast? Are you gonna fucking talk about this on the podcast? And I can't remember it now, and it's killing me, but it's like the towel. It's something like that. I can't remember it. Oh God, I can't remember it.
Peter and I were at a cabin recently, and I put one towel in our bag because I didn't know if Peter was going to go swimming or not. And I immediately went upstairs and was like, do you need a towel?
Good. I'm glad that you learned from the deepest wound of my life. And if you don't know what Sam's talking about, you got to listen back like 300 episodes to that
I would not
inside
have
story.
done that. I would have just been like, oh, he'll figure out if he needs a towel or not.
And you would have been a sociopathic, narcissistic partner. Just kidding.
We are so off topic.
You know, when that episode aired, sorry, y'all, this is a stupid story about a fucking towel, but when that aired, I've been talking about the Facebook group all week this week. But when that episode aired, somebody was like, in light of Sierra's towel story, I have to share this one. And it was something funny about like spoons or forks, like that. Their partner early brought up one fork, and she's like, did you?
I love it.
Yeah. Okay, so I remember my story. I'm gonna dish it. I bought Willow a wallet maybe 4 years ago for a holiday present, and this week, and it was like a really sleek, very like standard wallet. And this week I opened our a junk drawer or whatever, the drawer that we keep our keys and stuff in, and there was like this little stitched little pouch thing, like very, very plain hacky sack in 2014 sort of stitched thing. And I was like, what's this? And she looks at me, she goes, I'm not using the wallet you bought me anymore. It's just not me. I felt like a bro, so I'm going to use this. And I go, okay. Okay. And then for like an hour afterwards, she was like, are you mad at me? Are you going to talk about this on the podcast? Because I got and then so that I made a big deal of it. I was like, you just, you could have told me that you didn't, we could have returned it 4 years ago. Like, you've been hiding yourself from me this whole time. Yeah. And she's like, are you hurt? And I was like, yes, in that I am irrational. But in the rational world, I'm not hurt. But in the irrational world, wildly hurt by this.
Yeah, absolutely. The tenderest part of you is deeply hurt by it.
I was 100% hurt and offended. And then I accessed my mature part of my brain.
You were like, it's just a wallet and it's okay if she doesn't like it.
I was like, cool. You want to carry around that knit sack? Then you can do that.
This is not surprising to me at all, knowing what I know about Willow.
Oh, it was like a very sleek, fashionable wallet. And she was like, I felt like a bro. Now it's like a little coin purse.
Anyway.
What's funny is I told her I wasn't going to tell people about that.
Of course you were.
Double check that one. Anyway, my darling, oh my God, we got way off track, but I feel like we have not gone off the rails like that in a while.
At least
like
that since last week.
Can't laugh that hard or else we're going to get another bad review.
Just pulling out all the inside jokes on this episode.
Yep. Okay, y'all. Okay, back to our darling letter writer. You know what? I just want to reiterate again. No one else has a secret knowledge of your relationship. And here's another great piece of advice. You can't make everybody happy. Your happiness and your relationship is not there to soothe other people's opinions of that relationship, right? So if you're happy and you feel good about this relationship and you want to keep exploring these characteristics that you see in your partner that aren't necessarily flaws, but maybe make you feel things or feel second guess or are concerned for him, then I would say just remember that you are the, architect of your destiny. You are the the one who has the expertise in this relationship. You know what you're doing, and you are the only one who can make these decisions for yourself.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. All right, Confused Muse, thank you so much for writing.
We love ya.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much for listening. If you are interested in more content from us, or if you're interested in ad-free episodes, you can always support us on Patreon. If you support us on Patreon for as little as $5 a month, you'll get an additional bonus weekly episode, as well as access to our episodes without ads. That's patreon.com/justbreakuppod.
You can slide into our DMs, send us your favorite relationship memes, but most importantly, you can submit your questions about all matters of the heart at justbreakuppod.com, which is also where you can find our merchandise.
Please remember to like, follow, subscribe, give us a 5-star rating and review. This literally keeps our mics on and helps us reach more brokenhearted souls who need 2 random strangers giving them relationship advice.
Just Break Up is a production of David Media, original music, recording, editing, producing all magical things by our good friend Spencer Worth Davis. Make sure to check out his music and podcasts. And remember, you do have intuition. You do have inner knowledge, even if it doesn't feel like it, even if you've been taught or conditioned by the world or the people in your life to not listen to that inner voice. You have it, right? And it might take practice, getting used to listening to it or exploring it, and you might not get it right all of the time, but you can decide what's best for you right now. And if all else fails,
just break up.